I want to introduce you to one of my YouTube subscribers, Sreegan. He is 9 years old. His father this morning sent me this video of him serving, saying that he has learned a lot from my YouTube channel. And I just wanted to actually post a video highlighting this phenomenal service motion. This is a phenomenal motion for anyone, let alone a 9-year-old. And I want to show you what you can learn from Sreegan, but I also want to show him what he can do to improve his serve. First, let's watch his serve a few times, and then we'll analyze it. Wow, absolutely phenomenal. So the first thing I want to say is when you're 9 years old, what you're not looking for is a power serve. What you're looking for is to create a foundation of correct technique so that when, in 10 years, he's only going to be 19, he is going to have a phenomenal service motion. So the first thing I want to show you are a couple things I absolutely love about his serve. Obviously, the first thing is going to be the grip. We look at his racket, it's actually slightly open. His strings are facing slightly up to the left as a right-hander. That is indicative of using the proper continental grip. You've got to use a continental grip, and Sreegan absolutely has that, so great job. The second thing I want to show you is his low ball toss. One thing that allows him to have this smooth action to his serve, where his serve is just effortless, is this low ball toss. Now, people confuse a low ball toss with a low contact point. It doesn't matter how high you toss. You can toss super high in the air and then let the ball drop too low. So tossing low is actually, in my experience, a great way to contact high because you can actually hit the ball very near the peak of the toss. It makes it easier actually to time. But the way I actually recommend people to time their toss on video is to set a timer when the ball is at the top of your head. So you can see the ball is at the top of his head, and we set a timer here and we see how long it takes. He should be hitting the ball somewhere between 0.6 and 0.9 seconds. If that's his toss timing, then he is within the range of acceptability. So let's see what his toss timing is from this point. And he is at 0.63. Absolutely phenomenal, which, by the way, is J.J. Wolf's toss timing, NCAA champ out of Ohio State University. So fantastic job, Sreegan. And the last thing I want to show you is his pronation. You'll notice this right here. Notice his strings. Before he contacts, we can see through his strings where his racket is facing off to these players playing pickleball. And then when he's done, his strings have turned 180 degrees, and now his strings are facing off to the right. So fantastic job, Sreegan, on this service motion. I actually just want to show you a few things that are going to make your serve even better. The first thing is you may have noticed that sometimes you foot fault. See that little move, Sreegan, where your left toe, comes in and actually touches the baseline? I want to show you why that is happening. It's because your front foot is starting parallel to the baseline. That puts some pressure on your knee, and your knee knows that. So as your body starts to rotate into the serve, if your toe is facing this way, your knee kind of takes the brunt of that. So what you end up doing in a smart way, when you rock back and you have that Kyrgios look where that toe comes up in the air, and by the way, Kyrgios is another one with a very low toss and smooth action, just like you, Sreegan. When you put your toe up in the air, that's when the toe sneaks over onto the baseline. So what I would recommend is that you have your toe pointing into the court from the beginning. Now, the way you're going to do that, since you start with your heel super close to the baseline, you actually need to start with your right foot a little bit farther back and turn your heel back. That gets your foot lined up so that the toe is actually going into the court. That means you won't foot fault when you put your toe up and then put your toe back down. And all of this I'm going to show you in front of the camera in a second anyway. But I don't want you to start with your front toe so much over. I want it in. That will lead to fewer foot faults. Now, the second thing I want to show you is your toss. Now, we talked about the height of your toss, but I want to talk about what the toss is doing. Your toss at the moment, Sreegan, is going straight up and straight down. Watch how the ball kind of acts like an elevator, and it goes straight up into the air. It'll be in your best interest to toss the ball into the court like a rainbow. This is going to give you a great power line so that you're leaning in on your serve, which is going to help you hit a better serve and a more accurate serve, especially as you get older and bigger and stronger. You become a teenager. I don't want your serve going out because you start to serve faster, but a toss will go out or a ball will go out if the toss is too straight up and down. So let's right away create that good habit of getting a toss that goes into the court. That means that even when you start to hit a little harder, that serve is going to go in. And again, I'm going to show you how to do that in front of the camera in just a second. And the last thing, Sreegan, is going to be your finish. Notice right here how we're looking straight onto your back. In fact, your chest is basically facing over to these pickleball players. I'm actually going to ask you to do something that is really going to help the accuracy and speed of your serve now and into the future. I'm going to ask you to keep your chest facing more off to your right, not facing toward the net and not facing off to the left toward the pickleball courts, but actually keep your chest off to your right. And it's going to utilize something called a power X, where you cross your arms in front of you. By actually slowing your body's rotation down, by tucking this left arm in and keeping your chest facing off to the right, like this, it's actually going to create a reactive break that will make your serve go even faster. But I was so excited, Sreegan, when I saw this motion. I just absolutely was just like grinning from ear to ear. And it's actually why I asked your dad for his permission to, and he was so nice to grant it, to allow me to use this video in one of my YouTube uploads. So let me go in front of the camera, Sreegan, and show you exactly how to make these changes. All right, Sreegan. So here's the first thing. No more foot faulting. I'm going to show you how to fix this. You are at the moment beginning with your front foot parallel to the baseline. Here I got some green painter's tape. I'm serving the ball that way for perspective. My toe is pointing along the baseline. What you're doing is when you rock back, your toe turns, and then when you go into your pinpoint stance, you've now foot faulted because your toe comes up, turns, and then down. And there's your foot fault. This is the position I want your foot to be in. This is the position you want your foot in. This is what's most comfortable for you. That's why you're doing it. But what we want to do is start in this position. That way you don't foot fault. So here's the correction. The way you're starting, move your heel back. You'll have to move your right foot back as well. And now you have your angle in that you're creating at the moment after you put it up and put it down. Now we can just start with it back, and now when it comes up and then comes down again, no more foot fault. So work on that first, get it. It shouldn't take you very long, probably about a week of practice, and you'll get it perfectly. I have no doubt about it. The second idea, Sreegan, your toss. At the moment, you are tossing. I love that it's low, which forces a quick, action and makes it smooth and makes sure that you have fast racket speed. But your toss is straight up in the air and then straight back down. That makes it like an elevator in an elevator shaft. What we want is a rainbow. When you have a rainbow toss, you're leaning in and chasing after the toss. It can help you have effortless racket speed and power, but it can also make sure of another thing, that when you hit your fastest serves, that the ball goes in. See, Sreegan, a lot of players, as they get bigger and stronger and they become teenagers, they toss straight up in the air like they did when they were very young, and then they start leaning in, and now the contact point's behind them. Their racket face is open, and now their fast serves go out when they used to go in when they were young, right? So what I want you to do is use what is called the J toss. The J toss simply means that the ball draws something similar to the letter J. When you begin, I want you to rock back, your toe can come up, but I want you to bring the ball back by your right pocket. Bring both the racket and the ball that are touching and together, bring them both back. It's a little bit of a coil too, where you're going to kind of turn your back shoulder, the back of your shoulder to your opponent or to the service box. You're going to rock back and you're going to bring the ball back. Now the ball is behind your tossing shoulder. Now you go up and out and it turns it into a rainbow and the ball goes out into the court. So rather than keeping the ball over the baseline or in front of your shoulder, bring the ball back behind the shoulder and it draws, well, for you it would be a backward letter J, but from your perspective it's a backward letter J from the camera, but for me it's actually a letter J. And then the ball goes back and then into the court, and you can really get some great explosion, and as you get older, your serve will get better as you serve faster. The last thing, when you are finished on your serve,
your body was facing over toward those pickleball courts. What I want you to do is try to keep your body facing away from the pickleball courts off to the right of the court. This is both on the ad side and the do side. There's something called a reactive break, all right, Sreegan? So when you are serving, if you slow your body's rotation down, it speeds up your racket. And the best way to do that is to finish in an X. Now, we already noticed that you were tucking this arm in, but you were finishing and rotating your body. So what I want you to do is stay very sideways as you hit your serve, and you're gonna cross your arms to do that. So you're gonna make sure your toe is more forward, so when it comes up, it comes down, there's no foot fault. You're gonna use the J toss to get that ball to go more into the court, and you're gonna make sure that when you are done, you are very sideways with your arms crossed. Don't even face your target. Still try to keep your body somewhat sideways, maybe toward the net post, think of it that way. And that's gonna help you get more racket speed and also can help you be more accurate when you hit spin. Now, for all of you watching, if you're looking for new people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, or if you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, maybe they'll make your serve as good as Sreegan's, then use my link in the description for Play Your Court. And it's playyourcourt.com/2minutetennis. When you use my link to sign up, you'll get 50% off. If you're watching this video, it would mean the world to me if you went down below and commented something super positive and encouraging for Sreegan. He's obviously so young, so early in this journey of tennis, and he is already a great student of the game. So Sreegan, you follow these 3 tips I've got for you on your serve, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. Sreegan, you got this.